All right, I've had to adjust my screen a little bit for this next part, so if you see some slightly stranger resolution or artifacting, that's why. I need to have my Wacom tablet to be on the same screen as what we're seeing up here so that I can do this next demonstration. Now, I'm going to go ahead and select the cute snail, and that's just our standard adorable snail. Let me clear that out. And I'm going to pop on over to our brush settings. And before we can talk about brush pose, we need to talk about some special tips that are available to us. Now, while we have plenty of different ways to get capture brushes and build capture brushes and paint with capture brushes and do amazing things with them, there's an entire another set. We have modeled brushes, which include the bristle tip brushes, the air brushes, and the erodible brushes. So what are those? Well, you'll notice that we have some strangely shaped icons around and about in our tip preview. Let's go ahead and click on one of the brush ones. And I know they kind of look like weird pencil erasers, but these are all brushes. Let me just click on one of these. Now, this is interesting. What's this thing up here? Well, depending on if you have this on by default, which generally it is. A few versions I've seen don't have it on by default. This is the live tip brush preview. So what's this doing? Well, let me take my mouse and just draw around. Well, look at that. As I go left and right, the little brush bristles are wiggling. And in fact, when I click, it drops down, and when I release, it pops back up. This is an actual modeled brush. That's amazing. Let's go ahead and clear this out real quick and pop on over to brush pose. Let's say that you don't have a Wacom, which many people don't. That's not a problem because you have the ability to tilt and rotate your brush. So if we tilt X, we can see that this is swinging towards us and away from us like a pendulum. And if we tilt Y, we can see that it's swinging side to side. Let me go ahead and select that. Oh, look at this. It's behaving differently now, and you can see that it's modeled differently as well. We can also rotate this brush. It's like spinning it in your fingers. You can see those little bristles moving around. It starts to give you an idea of what's happening. Let's go ahead and grab my Wacom pen real quick. And now, as we press and I move it around, you can see that as I tip my pen forward and backward, side to side, it does the same thing. And if this were a fancier pen, if I rotated it, it would rotate as well. Pretty neat, right? Well, it gets better. Let's say you don't want it to do that all the time. You can override one or both of your tilts, so that it will either only tilt on one of the two axes or on neither of them, in which case only things like rotation and pressure sensitivity will register. This becomes more important when we get into erodible brushes, but I wanted to talk about that now. The really great thing, though, is that if you have a mouse and you want to take advantage of the bristle tip brush, the airbrush, or the erodible brush, you don't have to worry. Thanks to the brush pose, you're able to do exactly that. Just turn on your brush pose and pose your brush however you want. That's it. For now, I'm going to turn it off, though. I'm going to select everything, Control A, and delete to clear that out. And I'm going to pop back to brush tip shape. You'll notice that we have a number of other types of brush tips, even within the bristle brush. So in the next video, I'm going to go ahead and cover those, and then we'll move on to the other two types of brushes before getting into the amazing mixer brush. See you next video.